Hey, it's KB from wgtr Media Group.
And I'm Casey Murdoch, executive producer of Down the Road Show. What you're about to see here is an interesting interview that we didn't expect. So we figured we'd brace you a little bit because this may upset a few people, and this is going to excite a lot of people as well.
But Casey, why don't you tell us who the interview was with?
Well, we were recently at an undisclosed location. Now we're not undisclosed, my ass. But we were at a Comic-Con, and we're fortunate enough to get a great interview with a legend, Mr. Neal Adams.
Absolute legend. We got a chance to sit down and talk to him live during the event, the last day of the con. Got to sit down, have a phenomenal conversation.
Amazing.
But the conversation went a little off of what we ever expected it to be. And simply enough, man, it's a legend stating his mind, being truthful and being candid.
And honest.
You know what? That never happens. Honestly, it never happens.
Never.
An artist being honest, especially at a con.
Quite frankly, he answered questions I've been too scared to even ask.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
You're being too scared to ask.
Which is not me at all. So we hope you enjoy this.
Indiegogo.com/Hospital Heroes. And the title of the page is Superman's Hospital Heroes Tour 2012.
Hey, it's KB from WGTR reporting specially for Down the Road Show at the Chicago Wizard World Comic-Con 2012. Now, it's my great honor that we get to be with one of the best artists, in my opinion, and I think Casey would agree with this, that Neal Adams is one of the best artists I've ever seen. How has this event been for you, man?
One of the best artists?
I have to say the best because someone would want to hit me over the shovel later on if I say one of the best.
Okay, give me the other two.
Can I just say
give me
you're
the
my
other
favorite
three.
artist?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay. My favorite artist, the man who I've always wanted to talk to,
there you go.
is sitting right next to me.
There you go. That's what we want to hear. This is enlightened self-interest here. You know, I'm interested in being introduced that way because lots of rich people will come by and buy my stuff.
Okay. Everybody in the convention, this is my favorite artist. I've always wanted to meet him.
Greatest artist, comic artist of all time.
There we go. The greatest comic artist of all time from Mr. Green Bay Packers. We have the opportunity to sit here at Chicago Comic-Con
Here, $10.
talking with Neal,
There you go.
who's done so many things over the years, man. Seriously, how's this event been this weekend for you?
This event has been, well, in that those of us out here feel very much like the donut around the whole of Hollywood.
The donut around I keep actually picturing that donut shop with that giant donut on top rolling down Hollywood now.
I keep picturing a bunch of artists and comic book people around all the people in Hollywood that are collecting all this money for signing stuff. I mean, the truth of the matter is that it's a little rough, and I think that the convention and other conventions are looking for a balance between Hollywood and comic books. And until we get there, there's going to be a certain dissatisfaction. But there seems to be an understanding, a beginning of an understanding, that of the Hollywood people that we are their friends. They are doing, in effect, carrying on our work into film and television, and part of the lining of their pockets comes from the work that we do.
If you didn't do the work, if you guys didn't create it, show the artwork, there would never been a vision to have it go into the on film.
So there's this a little bit more of the door opening between the showbiz people and the comic book people, which is making us all feel more comfortable. As long as it's too isolated, it becomes an uncomfortable thing and you get a lot of bad vibes. The vibes are getting better. I think even the convention is trying to jump that gap between the whole Hollywood and the comic books, and is making a strong effort to do that. For example, they treated me very nicely.
Well, that's good. They should. You're a legend.
Well, sometimes being a legend is not quite as much as important as having Captain Kirk.
Well, you know,
and we all know as American citizens that we got to keep Captain Kirk busy with the next project that he's working on. It's our duty, and we have to do that.
It's true. Mr. Canadian needs to be busy in America.
Exactly. So if he hasn't got a show, we got to get him a show. And if he's got a show, we got to support it. because then he could play, I don't know, a white Indian or some weird thing, or do another musical album where he recites songs.
I would have seen him selling secrets of Lucas again in a movie, personally.
That's why we got to keep him on these high echelon shows, keep him busy.
But getting back to your work, what you've been doing this weekend, has there been certain experiences at this convention with fans of yours coming in and actually meeting you for the first time, getting your autograph, a unique experience?
It's hard to say that a convention has unique experience. Within the convention, there are unique experiences. Every once in a while, some smart-ass artist will come up and show his work and expect me to say it's wonderful. And then I don't. And he's, I don't know, disappointed.
Does he get upset? Does he cry a little?
You know, they get choked up and I tell them, look, when they come up and they want to show me their stuff, I offer them money not to show it to me.
You know what? That's the greatest thing I've ever heard at a convention.
Right. You know? Well, because I don't want to put them through hell. So a guy comes and he wants to show me something. I say, look, I'll make a deal with you. You know I'm a horrible person. I'll really tell you the truth about your work. Why don't we do this? I'll give you $20. You take your portfolio and show it to somebody else.
Can I bring my portfolio? Because I could always use $20.
Well, okay, you certainly can, because I don't want to criticize your portfolio.
Oh, it would be horrible.
It is. It would be horrible.
I'm. You know what? That's why I go to people like you.
Well, the worst part is that when you tell them the truth, then they get all offended, like you've told them the truth.
But isn't it better to tell somebody the truth than to lie?
Well, that's the way they come and say, no, I want you to tell me the truth, until you start telling them the truth, and then they just hate you. Not all of them, I have to say. There's only at this convention. There's only been one that hated me by the time we were done. There were, I would say, about a half dozen that came and felt they got positive response, and they actually were going back to work really hard for the next 6 months and do better work.
That's awesome.
So now, one out of 7, that's pretty good.
That's not bad, actually. Now, if it was a 5-year-old that came up and showed you, maybe. But when it's these guys who are budding artists, they need the criticism, they need constructive criticism so they can improve, right?
Well, I guess so.
That's I want. Hey, I want to see an artist that's improving.
For me, each one is individual. Everybody has their personality. Everybody has an attitude. Everybody is either strong or weak or whatever. So what you try to do is you try to criticize their work based on what you see and what their goals are. The biggest problem that I have, because I seem to be like the final, like that wall that you smash into, is they've already been to all these other guys who are, you have to understand that most guys in comics are nice guys. And when somebody brings their portfolio, they're really not going to give them a hard time. They're going to try to look on the bright side.
Sure.
And they're going to say all these nice things.
Oh, it's
and
great.
They say the nice things, and the guy goes around scratching his head wondering what just happened because he's not getting any work. But everybody's saying all this nice stuff. So they need to, I don't know, put their hand in the meat grinder, which, as it turns out, I'm the meat grinder.
What you're saying is, bottom line is, you're honest.
Well, that's, yeah.
Now, over your course of your career, you being a legend that you are, all the things you've done, what would you say is your strongest part of being an artist, and maybe something that you personally think maybe is not your strongest?
I don't know. I never think about that. I honestly, I can't. It's a question I don't know the answer to. What's my weakest and what's my strongest point?
Because everybody has what their strongest or their go-to aspect. I mean, you're talented. You're so talented in being who you are in the industry, how many things you've done, how many years you've been in it. But there has to be that one thing that you really fall back on.
You'd think so. You'd think so. I can't think of any. I mean, I think of myself as a student. Okay. I don't think of myself as a finished artist. So I try to do better all the time. So I'm always concerned about what I didn't do right and how I can make it better, and how I can improve, and how I can enjoy myself more, and how I can get paid more for doing the work that I do while I'm getting better. Because what happens is that when you're doing work, very often a young artist assumes that now that they're paying him, he's good. Well, that's a really bad attitude, and I never really allowed myself that attitude. My attitude is, Well, what's interesting for me is to do good work and to get better and to get even better, not to become too sophisticated, you know, like it's not rock and roll anymore. It's still got to be rock and roll. But how do I find my way through all these things, that thought processes that allow me to enjoy this as much as I did 10 years ago or 20 years ago? So I focus on that. So I really honestly don't think about what I do wrong or what I do right, you know, like, look, you came and you said very nice things about me, and we'll just get the conversation to that level. I do get tired of people saying nice things to me, okay? But I don't let it show. I'm letting you know, because everybody is so nice to me. At a certain point, I go, all right, stop already. That's enough, you know, please. I'm just like everybody else, you know. I dig the shovel in and I pitch the dirt. I'm not that person, you know, that I right now, I didn't earn all that stuff that the Neal Adams that you're talking about did. That's another Neal Adams. Right now, I'm digging in and doing my job. So it's a little hard to abide all that stuff. I'll tell you what I'll give you an idea what it's like. Let's say you're a movie star, okay? You can never be as good as the appreciation you get as a movie star. You can't be. It's not even possible, okay? You're a schmuck, they're a schmuck. You're all schmucks. And you make movies. You're all schmucks, and he makes movies, and you do this. Whatever it is. We're all the same. But a movie star walks around, and people want their autograph, and they say all these wonderful things about him all the time on the street and at home. I'm very lucky. If I don't want to have people say all these things, I can just walk out into the street. Nobody knows me out there. When I come into a convention that I volunteer to come into, everybody treats me great. So I can come to a convention, and on Monday I go back to work, and my clients treat me like crap, you know, like the landlord wants their rent, all the things that, you know, all the things that happen to you happen to me, and I don't get that adulation, which makes it great for me because I can choose my times. I can come to a convention, be treated great, I can walk out and I'm treated like a regular guy. That no movie star ever gets that, because people recognize them on the street, all the rest of it. So I get to be like a little movie star at a convention, and if I want to cut it, I leave early, or I go out in the street, or the convention is over and I go home, and it's great.
That's a great way of putting it.
It's terrific being me, because you have these choices.
You have the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
Basically, if you want it, you know, at times, you know, everybody sometimes needs people to say positive things. Yeah. Sometimes you need to get away from it. That's a great way to say it.
That's right. So I have a terrific life. I do work that I really love, and I'm never punished by it. I don't get the bad end. You know.
One more question I got to ask you.
Sure.
Do you think there's going to be a time when you're just going to go, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to put the pen down. I'm done.
Dancers don't stop dancing, and drawers don't stop drawing. That's Beautiful. Just the way it is.
I appreciate the time. This is KB, and I know we might not like it, but it's true. A legend in the industry.
We may not like it.
You might not like it because, you know, being said all weekend, 4 days long, huge convention. Thousands upon thousands of people here. You must be getting tired of hearing that all day.
You know, you never get tired of it because you can, as I said, walk away from it. So how could I get tired of it? It's great. Look, see that guy over there?
I figured it out. The Mount Rushmore of Comic Con. Vincent McKay, Bill Eisner, and Frank Frazetta. And how about a free signature?
Neal Adams, this is Chicago Wizworld Comic Con 2012. KB wgtr reporting for Down the Road Show.
See you guys.
Thank you so much, man.